started. Thank you guys, ladies and gentlemen, for taking time out of your day today. I know time is very precious and valuable to everybody. And just to give you an introduction, my name is Paul Malmquist. I am responsible for the Pro channel for eero. I've been on board for about 90 days. I may have met some of you in the past in other positions, but definitely look forward to working with you on this great and exciting new product, eero. Again, the reason eero was invented are exactly what we see here. Connectivity is terrible. I know that we can install as pros great access points and others, but we still continue to see drop-off in signal capabilities in those, and sometimes we're also limited to what we can actually do with those particular access points. Installing networks has become more and more of a feature for us. As we started from years past, we're installing simple networks to get people connectivity both in a hardwired and wireless environment. Today it's more incumbent upon us as pros to continue to install better and better networks. So what eero does is it gives us an opportunity to actually install a great network where we have better connectivity, where we have better integration with our products, and where we can hopefully improve the knowledge of a device as we go forward. The other thing that we noticed when we were developing eero is that products aren't what they really say they are. They're not as safe as what they think they are, or what they as what we think they may be. And we have seen multiple opportunities in the U.S., especially over the past several years, that indicate that things are flawed and security is not updated on a timely fashion. So let's keep that in mind. I think that security does, my opinion, security becomes more and more to the forefront in the conversation as we continue to see more and more connected devices in the marketplace. So what we know and what we've learned is very simple. We needed to be able to produce an entertainment grade coverage across the home, as current routers don't give us that capability, and we have to be able to protect that. We also wanted to be able to develop a product that was quality enough that it would receive over-the-air updates and make sure that everything was always up to speed with the latest and greatest software applications, firmware, and operating systems. But the best thing about it is that installers really, from my experience so far in the past 90 days, with several weeks of those being out on the road working with dealers, installers and business owners love this product because they can install it, get it up running quickly, and move on to more important jobs on their more important things on their jobs as they begin to build out the rest of the system. Consumers, on the other hand, want to be at the other end of things. Your consumers are definitely looking to be able to have mobility in their home, to use tablets, notebooks, phones, other devices without buffering and dropouts. A simple interface is good for both you as well as your customers, where you do transfer that service over to them, and they want to be able to know and rely on customer service as well as the security, plugging it in and making sure that they are secure on their network. I'm going to step back and talk about support, because our support team is dedicated, and you guys need great and good support from a team who is dedicated to you. And our team in Texas is dedicated 100% to you. So without any further hesitation, let's talk about the next generation of whole home Wi-Fi, and that's eero and eero Beacon. Two great new products. You notice that you'll never think about Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is so good you'll never think about it again the same way. But what you will see is we want you to continue to use eero as the heart of the system, as my screens continue to jump around. But it's same design, twice the power, tri-band now, with True Mesh, which we'll talk about a little bit more as we go through the next couple of slides. But we've added a third 5 gigahertz radio. We've increased our throughput speed by up to 70%. As we all know, throughput speed is dependent upon the pipe as well as the construction of the house, but out of the box we can be up to 70% faster than we currently are by the way we've changed our processors and the way we've engineered the inside of the product and increased our radios. We've also been able to increase our range by about 15%, up to 15%, again, dependent upon the construction of the home and what configuration you may actually be using. But if we think about that, currently we say 1 per 1,000 square feet for generation 1 product should give us enough coverage for Wi-Fi. If we reduce that by 15%, that's now 1 per every 850 square feet. So we should be able to give some pretty good range and coverage with new products going forward. And Thread 1.1 border router. We'll talk about Thread a little bit more and why it's important to us as an industry and a product, and as also for professionals in the marketplace. As I said, we want to continue to use eero as the heart of the system because eero is our main product. It's backwards compatible, by the way, with generation 1, and we can use it in a wireless and or wireless configuration. No matter anything you can dream up, we can actually get to. So then we introduce our new wonderful sidekick eero beacon. It's about as large as a nightlight. It is true mesh, and it's scalable to every other room in the home. And this is where I'll use my home as an example. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be installing some Wi-Fi cameras on the corners of my house, as well as a doorbell and a few locks, and a thermostat, 2 thermostats. So that is going to give me some smart home functionality, if you will. But I know that on one end of my house I've got great signal, and I've got great signal because I use eero, but I want to make sure that that signal is always there for those cameras and the outdoor lighting. And I'll be able to install an eero beacon in my garage. You could install it in a master bathroom where you need better connectivity, and or even in a kitchen. Long hallways come to mind as well, where you know that that hop is going to be a distance that is greater than what you may currently have or currently use for a standard eero. So if you think about the beacon, it can give us greater opportunities with and extending hops and ensuring service is out there, or Wi-Fi is available to all of the devices in the home. Just a quick look at our product as far as where we are. Again, same form factor as what we have with generation 1, but it's the guts that we've changed, as well as some of the operational insides. So we have added Thread for IoT devices, locks, doors, window sensors, those type things. And we've also improved with that additional radio. Look at our eero beacon. Again, about half the size of Gen 1. It is wall mountable, and it does not have an Ethernet port. It is backwards compatible with generation 1 as well. So where you may want to be able to go back and install another access point for a consumer, eero beacon would be great for those particular applications. So think of it again as a way to be cost effective in the marketplace when you're out installing and configuring a particular home. So if you're serious about software, we make our own hardware, and our teams are there to do that. And what I mean by that is through our vertical integration. Our vertical integration begins with the hardware and the way it's built and functioned, our firmware, our software, our cloud, and our application layers. So what that means is we start with a product, we start with Qualcomm chips. We wipe those chips clean. We use our own firmware on those and our own software from there forward, and we've developed our own cloud service as well, as in the application layer 2. So if you think about that and what that means to you, is this is a fully customized product that delivers great Wi-Fi and router capabilities in a home. We also then take a look at any scale and any configuration. Any scale and any configuration for us means this: I can use them wirelessly, and that beacon comes into play where you may be doing a retrofit and you know you can't just get that wire pulled to that one location, but you have access to a power outlet. That's a great opportunity for a beacon or an eero as well. So any configuration, any wired, wireless configuration we can dream up, eero will actually support. True tri-band, dynamically rerouting the backhaul and delivering faster speeds in the home is what our tri-band is about. So we could do dedicated backhaul opportunities, both in wired and or wirelessly. But think about it this way, is that if you're on the interstate and it gets clogged up and there is a shortcut you can take, but you're in traffic and you can't get to that shortcut, wouldn't you want to be able to reroute your traffic in a way that gives you faster throughput speeds, both on backhaul and front end? So we are dedicating that bandwidth to that backhaul, but it's dynamically routed. Unmatched security. This is a great opportunity for us in that we have our systems actually go out for testing to third-party testers, and those third-party testers are companies that we actually send our products to that they try to hack. And we've yet to be hacked. I'll knock on some wood, but yet to be hacked means a lot for us, because we know that those networks that are out there in the marketplace that have been installed and will continue to be installed are safe. And most of the engineers that actually do work on our product end up being eero users in their own home. We've pushed out over 20 plus security and or software updates since we launched the product in January 2016, which means that your customers don't have to worry about whether or not they have the latest and greatest, because we keep making sure that it's better over time. So those software updates are there for both security, user feature changes, as well as bugs and or debugging a product. Thread. Thread is a very great network. It's device-to-device communications. It is a mesh network, and it is self-healing, so it gives us no single point of failure. It's very simple to install. It can support 250 plus devices at any given time. So if you think about where we are today with devices speaking to each other and improving the intelligence of a home, Thread could be used with sensors and a ceiling fan as an example, and be able to communicate to the thermostat, and the thermostat says, fan, turn up your speed before I turn on the air conditioning. Or we may find that battery-powered devices eat up battery because they use power so much when they are, as an example, a door lock or an outside camera or anything else. They can consume a lot of batteries over time, where people actually install those instead of a wired device that we may be installing. But Thread gives us that capability of ensuring that, number one, there's a security at the network level, they're encrypted, and we also can scale with no single point of failure. So Thread definitely is battery friendly. It's one of the biggest proponents out there. But really, when we step back and take a look into the companies that are behind Thread, it started with Nest, and it has grown from Nest to people like Crestron, LG, Philips Hue, and others in the marketplace. So Thread is a great product, and it will become more and more prevalent as we move forward. So our setup remains extremely simple to set up, as you guys know, with allowing us to start with a smartphone, move into plugging in our eero devices across the home, allowing us to get back to what we really want to be able to do and your customers want to be able to do is spend time with friends and family. So some basic rules on installation. If you're not currently installing eero and or you are installing eero, here are some basic rules to follow. Number one, out of the modem into eero and into that switch and then out into those other eeros. We're showing it wired here, but it could be a wireless connection as well, and we'll see that in just a minute. The one thing that we don't want to do is go from the modem to the switch and then the eeros, but you could do that if you wanted to go to bridge mode, but we would lose some functionality changes in bridge mode, and we'll talk about those as we get a little bit further in. So out of eero into the switch and then into the other eeros. That is exactly how my home is designed today, and it's fantastic. I don't have any problems whatsoever out of it, and it's been fun to run. So another opportunity for a basic installation opportunity is switch loop. As you can see, we're out of eero into a switch and then into another switch with multiple eeros connected from there, and as well as other devices connected. In the bottom, what we're actually seeing is where eero is connected to the television and or a switch. You could eliminate connection B, leaving A, which would be the way to do it. So in my opinion, if you can hardwire through that switch, hardwire it through the switch, or you could use eero in that place as well. An additional installation is where we do have eero acting as a wireless access point, which it does as a router as well on the first eero, but then out of the switch into another eero and then connecting to devices from there. It is a great opportunity. Again, this is where bridge mode comes into play in the very bottom. We can go into bridge mode. What you will lose there are advanced settings. So if you were to go into your advanced settings on your eero application that you have in your home today or on your phone today, you would lose those particular settings for bridge mode, as well as connectivity speeds and a few other functions. So think about that when we go to a bridge mode and use it as a wireless access point only. Eero is first and foremost our router, and that's where we like to live and breathe, and then eero's connected from there going out to the rest of the home. If you're not familiar, we do have a Pro Transfer Network opportunity. It's there and available to you at the, if you can see my mouse moving over the top of it, it's Transfer Network. If I look at my application on my phone today, I don't have that feature because I'm not a registered Pro dealer. So once you're registered and authorized, your phone would be updated with that transfer network. It's very simple to do. You would add a new account and get it set up and running, as we see on the very left-hand side of the screen, and then transfer the network. We're going to enter in the customer's information from there and then transfer the network. But we do give you that sanity check. In some cases, we may not want our consumers to have access to their networks because they may not be as familiar with networks as we want them to be, and we don't want them to fool around inside of that. So you could leave that network on your phone if you so choose. But if you do transfer it, the ownership does go to the consumer, and they have full transfer ownership. The hard part about that is if there were an issue later on with the network, you would need access to their phone to be able to get back into the network. So now we move into eero Plus, and eero Plus is an opportunity for us. It's premium protection for the network. It's brand new for us. And what we really did is we stepped back and we took a look at some of these statistics that we see here, with 1 billion identities being exposed, with 357 million new malwares being released last year, or 98.6 million bots, and average ransomware of $1,000. Consumers don't like to hear that. They don't like to see that. They know that they want to be protected. So we can give them worry-free network protection. So eero Plus protects against phishing scams, botnets, viruses, and anti-theft. It's really easy to set up for your customer. So as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen with the phone, you can toggle on and off these particular switches by profile and or device. So if I think about that for my children, I may want to have them all on and maybe a couple of them off. In my case, probably none of them off, but you could leave a few of them off if you wanted to. So each of the filters can be toggled on and off, and or they could be set by profiles and or devices. So it's a great opportunity for them. Just a quick comparison of what we currently do on eero. Standard eero comes with our automatic software updates. Will not stop that. We are WPA2 encrypted because we do feel that WPA2 is our best starting point. Our firewall has been fantastic for us. Encrypted systems connections between devices stays there. One-time passwords, end-to-end tests with third-party security experts always is there, and blocking suspicious devices because we can actually block a device that's trying to enter our network and or has been on our network in the past through the application. But where eero Plus comes into play is that we are anti-malware, phishing, ransomware, virus, protection from DDoS attacks, as well as protection from botnets. And if you think about this, if I'm on my network today, my eero network, and I have a phishing scam that comes in, I would be alerted that it would be there because I'm on my eero network. If I'm outside my network at Starbucks and I'm enjoying a little cup of coffee, and I come back to my home network, it would alert me that there is malware on that device, and I could potentially block that device going forward. So once we're away from our network, of course, we're not protected, and we always want to make sure that those customers have great protection on their devices that they will take off of their network and use outside of the home. So it's not foolproof, but the opportunity comes for on the network and protecting the network while they're at home. The eero Pro program, it's a great program. We're improving it. We will be launching a new site over the course of the next week with all of the information that's contained here, new FAQs, and new opportunities for us. So think about the eero Pro program as being an opportunity to have dedicated VIP support. One of the things that's unique about eero that I find different from any other company is that we have this dedicated support line for you guys, but we don't incentivize our agents at level 1 or level 2 on the number of tickets they actually close out every day. We look at them as resolution in the first call. Sometimes we aren't able to do that, but in most cases we are. So we're looking for resolution to a particular issue rather than the number of tickets that are actually answered or taken care of or fielded in a single day. Decreased return rates and truck rolls. I think that overall what we're seeing and what we're hearing back from the dealer base today in the US is that the product works great. It is a set it and forget it kind of opportunity, but with the understanding that we know that we're not going to get 100% of your business because there are cases where you need different features than what we may have for your particular network application for your customer. Discounting prices, meaning that you can actually earn a margin. I'm going to stop there and pause for just a second, because one of the things that I've found, I had a dealer come to me at an event in Seattle and say that he was not happy with us. And I didn't understand what he was saying because he had already installed 15 networks already this year using eero, and he explained that to me up front. What he was unhappy with was the fact that he didn't know how to charge for it. If we set up a network in the proper way and we assign devices and we assign profiles to that particular network, it's similar to what you do every day with your labeling and mapping of a particular system, the way you architect things and the way pros actually do things to make their consumers' lives better, as well as their life better post-sale. So think about it when you start to set up that eero network to make sure that all of those devices are labeled, all of those profiles are set. Whether or not you transfer those over to the consumer later on, or you keep them on your phone, at least you have a great way. It takes time. Time is money. Let's make sure that we're charging for those and improve our profitability across the whole job. Then the next thing is that great accommodation program. First-time dealers always have the chance to buy a unit or a 3-pack at a discounted price. And then the technicians, as they become registered, they go through the testing program at the very end. They can also enjoy eero in the home. So it's a pretty good program. We'll continue to enhance it over time. So bear with us on that. You can always register at pro.eero.com. So watch for changes coming up. We have some announcements and emails for those guys that are already registered. We'll be introducing a locator program on our website. So consumers that are looking for professional installation of eero products and or just professional installation of products will be easily found. Is one of the features that we'll be adding very, very soon with the launch of the relaunch of eero or pro.eero.com. Whole home coverage. Why eero? Again, whole home coverage. I've enjoyed eero. In fact, I enjoy eero out on my patio without any additional access points outside. I can enjoy eero or Wi-Fi at the very far reaches of my property line. And I will tell you that that is about 130 feet from my eero on the main level of my house. So it's great coverage. I could probably go a little bit farther, but I don't venture out that far most of the time. Stays new with automatic software updates, so your customer today always receives the greatest and latest that we have to offer. And one thing different about that compared to other products that may be in the marketplace, as an example, I use an iPhone, and I know that I have a software update. We push ours automatically, so 99.99999% of our networks that are out there today are updated with the latest and greatest, both in software, security, as well as any feature updates. And in general, it just makes all of our devices work better. When we have customers that live and breathe off of mobility in the home and or need great networks in the home, that's where eero comes into play. I'm going to open it up for questions from there, but as we start to think about it, we have direct best-in-class customer support starting at Tier 2, which is fantastic. As I said, we're rated on the quality of service, not the number of tickets. It's free, and it's a toll-free number. We can be reached at the telephone number there, or you can always email us at pro.eero.com.